Hello everyone, it's Jennifer, and I want to talk to you guys today about a question that I get quite a bit as a birth and postpartum doula and as a mother of 5 children of my own. I have a lot of people ask me, what advice would you give? What do you wish that you had known going into motherhood? That made your life so much easier. And there are a few things. There are a few things that I have learned over the years of serving mothers and of course trial and error with my own children that I think are absolutely invaluable. These are things that I tell my doula clients as the number one most important things that I wish I had known going in the first time. And I'm so grateful that I know. Just having had my 5th baby 3 months ago, it has been so much easier this time around, and with number 4 and number 3, just the things that I've learned. And so I want to share these with you today because I really hope that they make your life easier going into your first child, or if it's your 5th and you just, these might be a new perspective for you. First of all, I want to start by saying that babies are very intuitive. Newborns are very intuitive. They are like little antennas for moms. My husband laughs. He always knows when something's wrong with me based on how our new little guy acts, because he knows if there's something on my mind or if I'm anxious or nervous about something, because the baby reflects that. The baby's so intuitive, and he gets anxious and whiny and starts crying a lot. So know going into having your baby that they are little receptors for you. They're like, they know you. They can feel, they have to, for survival, they have to be able to be very aware of how mom is doing and how mom is feeling. And if mom is anxious and nervous, then they're going to be anxious and nervous. It's just the way it happens. So you really need to figure out how to mitigate that, how to go with the flow. You know, I talk to a lot of new moms that try to white knuckle everything. You know, from day one, they want to have certain schedules for sleeping and eating and all this stuff. And I'm going to tell you from experience that doesn't work. It just doesn't. And all these books are going to tell you that you need to start baby on a schedule. And it doesn't work unless you really want to tear your hair out. And you want to cause a lot of anxiety for you and your baby and the rest of the family, your husband, and if you have other children, it just doesn't work. So if you are type A personality and you love to white knuckle stuff, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have a really hard time unless you let loose and go with the flow a little bit more. And so that's my first suggestion, is that you know, babies kind of have their own agenda going on, and I know we all do too, and you gotta, in order to have these smooth transitions into this new life with your new baby, you need to just let go and see how things take shape. That's a huge one. I've said this in other videos, there's tons of parenting books out there, there's tons of parents that like to give you advice on how to sleep train or how you need to feed your baby every 2 hours and all this kind of stuff, and I, at the risk of sounding like another mother who's going to give you advice that's not viable, just trust me in knowing that, having gone through it quite a few times, and lots with other women when serving them as doulas, you gotta just go with the flow. You gotta listen to your baby and listen to you, listen to your body, and see how that all meshes together, and take each day at a time. All right, that being said, the most important thing that I think has made the most difference in my life as a new mother is co-sleeping safely. Not to sound boastful at all, but all of my babies have slept through the night from the beginning. My newest, Nico, who's 3 months, he was up the first night that he was born for a couple hours. Otherwise, from that point on, he has slept 8 to 10 hours. And when I say sleep through the night, I say this in that he is stirring to nurse, never actually really waking up, but he just kind of stirs. And as a new mom, you get used to that, their cues. And that kind of stirring without even opening his eyes. I know he's hungry. And that could be an hour after he last ate or 15 minutes after he last ate. But he knows when he's hungry more so than I do. But I can tell his cues. So co-sleeping, I lay with him and fall asleep, and he stirs and it wakes me up. And I, of course, with a newborn, they don't have neck control or body control, so you have to kind of bring them in. And I nurse laying down, and we both fall back to sleep. So I couldn't even tell you how long he nurses for. But I go back to sleep, he goes back to sleep until he stirs again, and I do the same thing. Now that he's 3 months, it's a lot easier because he's got more head and neck control, and he literally just helps himself like an all-night buffet. So that's so helpful. I've been contemplating making another video on how I do this, how I lay and nurse and co-sleep from newborn, which I have some techniques that make it very, very safe to co-sleep with them, while also making it very easy for mom to nurse them. And if you are interested in me making a video like that, please make a comment so that I know, and I'll direct some of my time and attention to that, because I think it would be helpful. But I can get more into that later. And that kind of leads into the next one, is breastfeeding. So co-sleeping, breastfeeding goes hand in hand with that, because if you want to literally sleep through the night, only waking up those times that they're hungry to nurse and not actually have to get out of bed and go make a bottle, breastfeeding is the other one. Now, I'm not even going to touch in this video on the health benefits of breastfeeding. It is just the omega of health for your child. I can't stress enough how important it is to give that to your baby. Not to mention that, but it is a beautiful transition, because you go from being pregnant and having this baby on you all the time, in you all the time, to the baby's on the outside of you, and now you're still giving it everything that it needs, but just from the outside. It is a very important transition emotionally for both you and baby. It is such an incredible bonding experience that I wouldn't trade for the world. Looking into your child's eyes as you're nursing them is just like nothing else. So there's all those wonderful benefits, but from an ease standpoint, which is what this video is about, trying to make life easier on mom and baby. It's incredible how much easier it is. You don't have all the paraphernalia of bottles and nipples and having to sterilize them and buying the formula, having to mix it, getting up. Now, even if you're co-sleeping and the baby's stirring because they're hungry, you got to get up and go make a bottle. No, you're not going to get as much sleep. I seriously have never, 8 to 10 hours a night is what I get of sleep. And I get maybe teeny tiny 1 minute increments of stirring where I have to just latch the baby. That's it. So I want that. I wish that for everyone, that they have that ease and that ability to have such a good night's sleep. And in order to do that, you need to breastfeed. So that's the next one. But that kind of also leads into the next point, is we were talking about all the paraphernalia of having to bottle feed. Well, you also have all this other paraphernalia of children stuff that society tends to push on us, you know. You need a nursery with a crib, you need all these different outfits for your newborn, as well as tons of blankets and all these gadgets that are out there on the market. It's kind of mind-blowing these days. I'm going to tell you what you really need. You need a few onesies. And, you know, yeah, you might need one cute outfit if you're going to go visit your aunt somewhere or something. But for the most part, just a few onesies is all you need. And they're going to spit up on them and they're going to make a huge mess. But, you know, that's why you just have these onesies that you can wash and replace, and they're cool and comfortable in them, and there's really not any better thing to put them in unless you just want them in their diaper. And that's the other thing, is cloth diapering. I cloth diaper, and so you need your cloth diapers. And so you got your onesies, your cloth diapers, a few blankets. And in terms of something big or a little bit more expensive than that stuff, a bouncy seat is very helpful, especially if you have other children or animals, just to keep them elevated, and you can, you know, have them with you if they're not on you. And a swing is nice. My children tend to like to fall asleep in the office in a swing. And that's great. It makes it easy on everybody. And if they're really secure and comfortable children, then they won't have a problem napping in a swing while you're working. And some sort of a baby wrap. You know, I have baby wraps that I've made, and slings and things like that are just, you know, those are pretty invaluable. And that leads to the next one. And that's the last one, is baby wearing. You know, it's wonderful to be able to have your hands free and to be able to have your baby on you, and they love it. I could go all day, and my baby could go all day being on me. No fussing, no, they're close to their food source, they're close to mom, they're warmth, they're happy. They can sleep when they want and look around when they want, and there's really nothing better. Obviously, there's times when you can't wear them or it's not convenient to wear them, but when that's the case, you know, that's why you have a swing or a bouncy seat. But that's it. And I can honestly say that the transitions from baby to baby for me has been so seamless and so peaceful for everybody, for my other children and for my husband, and of course for myself and for the baby. You don't need much, and I think we tend to overcomplicate life with stuff and opinions, but just know, and I've said this in a video before, you love this child, and that will come through. And as long as you give that child love and attention, you can do no wrong. On top of that, if you just know that the baby just wants to be with you and they'll be happy, you just figure out ways to make that work. As best as possible. You know, we're all learning. It's a work in progress, becoming a mother and learning these things. But these are the tips that helped me the most. And I think most importantly, if you are calm and you have good sleep, then you can take on the world. You really can. And so that's the best that I can do. And honestly, I wish on all of you as peaceful of a transition that I've had with my children. And so if I can go into any more detail on any of this to help you guys even further, please comment, let me know, because my goal here is to try to make this beautiful time that should just be full of love and peace. As wonderful for you and your babies as possible, as it was for me. I feel so grateful. So if I can help in any way, please do let me know, and I'd be happy to expound on some of this. But thank you so much for watching, and until next time, be well. Thank you.